Howdy everyone, this is Virender Singh here, and I'm super duper excited and fired up to be with you on this training on how to get a job in IT, that's in information technology, in 3 months or less without actually needing any local Australian IT work experience, and start finally living the life you dream and definitely deserve. This is all about you guys, and this entire 60-minute training that I'm gonna do today will be all about you and just you. So without wasting another second, let's get straight into this training. So what do you learn on this training? Before I move on, I should give you a quick overview and what to expect on this training. So the Australian IT job market and workplace culture. I'm going to cover the Australian IT job industry, the market, and basically the workplace culture. Why you must not pray and spray, dear God, bless my resume as I spray it all over Australia. So I'm going to cover that particular point basically in layman's term, why you shouldn't keep applying for every random job you find, on a website, on Seek or any other job posting website. And then I'm going to cover why and how to tailor your resume to suit the job requirements and the position description, especially when hiring managers have thousands of resume to sift through. So basically when they have hundreds and thousands of candidates applying for a particular job and they have to go through the resume and shortlist them. How to increase your chances of getting past the initial resume screening round and stand out from the other applicants. That's really, really important, guys. And how to answer and tackle the you don't have a local Australian IT industry experience question. This is again one of the the icebreaker or the deal breaker question, one of the scariest question, one of the most difficult question to answer for any recent graduate or a recent migrant who's just landed in Australia. So yeah, so even for me, when I was looking for my job back in 2007 when I landed here in Australia, it was one of those difficult questions that I could never, basically never ever could, come up with the real spot on answer. So yes, I'm going to cover that question today on this training, and what IT skills and job titles can help you get your foot in the door. So when we say get your foot in the door, that means basically kick off your career, get you started. So just finding your first job, that's really important. So basically, at the end of this training, you'll be learning, you will discover my top IT job hunting secrets. So my top IT job hunting secrets, what I've learned in this country for the last 10 plus years, which will finally help you find your dream IT job in pretty much 3 months or less. If someone says you can find the job tomorrow or in a month's time or in 2 weeks, that may or may not happen, but let's be realistic. Everything takes time because it's a learning, everything takes time. So I would say in 3 months or less, definitely, so that you can live the life you dream and deserve. And obviously the last thing, if the time permits, if we have some time left, which I'll try my best to not go over 60 minutes, then I can definitely have some live question and answer session from you guys, from the audiences who are on this call, on this training. Okay, so the next is, who is this training for? Who is this training for? So this training is for you if you are an international student who is either currently studying IT qualification or just completed your qualification and want to find an IT job to satisfy your eligibility for PR, as in permanent residency or resident visa. So that's, then you should be on this call, on this training. And you are a recent IT graduate struggling to find a job, to get your foot in the IT industry. If you've recently completed your IT graduation or one of the IT diplomas or degrees, and you're struggling to find a job to get started in the IT industry, then this training is for you. You are an experienced and skilled IT professional with overseas experience. It's a really important thing with overseas experience, but failed to get a job in Australia in IT due to having no local IT industry experience. Again, this is definitely for one of those people who recently completed their qualification, or who are, pursuing their qualification, doing some, last semester and still looking for jobs, people who recently graduated, and then people who recently arrived, or, arrived, they arrived, it's been a while since they arrived in Australia, but they have overseas experience. They're pretty good what they do in terms of IT skills, but they still fail to get a decent job in Australia in IT industry, just because for that, that 3 words, no local experience. So these words can, be really, really difficult to get past for someone who don't know how to do it. So basically, if this describes you, if you're one of those people, then you are in the right place, guys. And trust me, you cannot afford to miss out on this training. So make sure you stay till the very end of this training and take a, grab a pen, a copy, a notebook, and then start scribbling. There's a lot of important notes to be, there's a lot of important notes that you need to write it down, jot it down for the future reference, or for referring to those notes later on. Before I start the training, here's a quick introduction about me. So before we get on with the training, I should introduce me, and why the hell you should listen to me. So my name is Birendra Singh, as you may know by now. I have 14 plus years of corporate IT experience, and out of those 14 years, 10 years experience is entirely working in Australia in corporate, IT world. I'm the founder of a few businesses. One of them is WebNudge, is a website design, development, and digital marketing company. One is a Webexite Solutions. We purely focus on web development, the software development, and the IT solutions, or IT consulting. My Tech Ninja, that's my personal website, the one I use when I work with smaller businesses or with sole traders. Expert Geeks, that's an on-site IT support business, just like computer repair kind of hardware support, or the software support. And Swift Education, which is an education company. We provide PTE, Pearson Test of English and IELTS training. That's based in New Zealand. So so this Swift Education is based in New Zealand. And prior to starting my own companies, before starting my own businesses, these companies, I worked as an IT analyst, senior IT consultant, and systems administrator for top corporate companies in Australia, such as SAP. That's the enterprise resource planning, the biggest ERP company in the world. That's a German company, and most people, you would have heard their name before. SAP, as they call it in India, is SAP. ANZ Bank, Deakin University, National Australia Bank, that's NAB, IBM. So worked with few retail companies, Lovisa, that's a jewelry company, the Perfume Connection, Blue Illusion, that's women clothing, and then local government council. So I have done, a bit of government, sort of council, environment in the local government council environment, just to name a few. There are quite a few actually. There are a few others on my resume, but I'm not going there. So I came to Australia on student visa to study IT Advanced Diploma in year 2007 to be exact, and struggled to find any IT job or an IT job for my first 12 months, and ended up actually working in bars and farms, and car wash, and doing all the odd jobs we students usually end up doing if you don't find a decent job, especially in our field of expertise. But my never giving up attitude, or my never give up attitude, hard work, and self-learning abilities helped me start my IT career, find my first job, helped me kicking off my IT career in Australia in year 2008. So it took me my first 12 months to find an IT job. And it just to clarify that, I did my bachelor's and master's back in India, and I was working with a few companies, so I had a decent work experience and IT skills and knowledge, but still I struggle to find any job, any sort of IT role in my first 12 months, which is pretty common. So so before I move on, just want to cover a few other aspects of my experience. I have wealth of IT and especially Australian IT job industry knowledge, and know what it takes to find an IT job in Australia, in countries like Australia and New Zealand. So basically, I know and understand how difficult it can be for migrants, people like me, you, and international students to find satisfying jobs in their field of study, especially IT. And I understand the internal pressure you feel of wanting to have enough money for your family, for your own goals, and to just start living the good life you dream and deserve. And that's why you came here to Australia to from your country in the first place. And that is why I have decided to share my top insider job hunting secrets and help you learn and master the job hunting secrets and get your dream job, dream IT job in Australia in the shortest possible time frame. So yeah, so it usually takes 3 months if you follow these suggestions or my experience, and and just start looking for jobs, do your job hunting. And so yeah, okay, so without further delay, that's everything covered, my experience, what you're gonna learn, and what this training is for. Let's get started with this training. So the first step, the first actually point I'm gonna cover in this training, or on this training, is the Australian IT job market and workplace culture. So listen, the Australian IT job market and workplace culture is very different, very, very different from other countries such as India, maybe China, maybe Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, or those southeastern or Asian countries. So when I say culture, what I mean by that is the behavior. So yeah, so keep in mind that when I'm talking about the workplace culture, I'm basically to be exact, to be precise, I'm talking about the behavior, or not anything else. So yes, so what is the culture is, sorry, there's some wrong animation of this on this screen, but that's fine. So employers in Australia tend to prefer employees who are appropriately skilled. So obviously they know their skill, they're good at what they do, take initiative, and are assertive when appropriate. So yeah, so they take initiative, they take responsibility, and they are assertive. So most people would know what assertive means they're firm, they know what they're saying, and they're pretty confident. They can work independently or in diverse multicultural teams. So they can work independently without any colleague, or on their own, and also in a bigger team, or in a diverse multicultural team. So which is the main a main population here in Australia is obviously the diverse multicultural population. And they have good problem solving, planning, and organizational skills. They demonstrate good communication skills, so they must demonstrate. That's what we expect from the employers expect from the employees, that they have a good communication skills. They can understand, they can talk, they know how to write, they know just the normal stuff. Show enthusiasm and are self-motivated. So they should have passion for for their jobs and the day-to-day life, or the stuff they do on their daily basis, and they're self-motivated. They don't need to they don't want someone to give them 10 minutes the motivational lecture, then or the lesson or the session, then they go on and do the stuff, and then so that's pretty much what I mean by self-motivation. Self-motivated, are keen and quick learners. So they are keen and they are quick learners. They can learn quickly. So that's what I mean by that's how the Australian IT job market and workplace culture. And to be honest, that's not only restricted to IT. That's actually common. That's actually pretty much anywhere you go. In Australia, any sort of job you go for, in any industry, this is always applicable. And then yes, they can prioritize their work, they can demonstrate high level of independence and ability to work autonomously and think outside of the box. Thinking outside of the box is really important. Basically what that means is thinking on your feet, outside of the box. So you shouldn't be always going by the books. You can always have some flexibility and think outside of the box, outside of the scare. Are the people or the employees who are a contributor in the teams and have good problem solving, planning, and organizational skills, and are punctual. That's last but not least. punctuality is really, really, really important, especially in Australia, in any industry, in any sector you go for. So the Australian IT job market and workplace culture is pretty much covered by these points I explained. And what about conflicts? Conflict is not necessarily avoided in the Australian workplace or any workplace for that matter. It is preferred that problems are dealt with rather than ignored. So, and the idea of saving face is usually not as strong as achieving the goal. So it's not about when you have made a mistake or when some conflict occurs in a workplace. So what Australians expect, or what the common expectation for anyone is to deal with it rather than ignore. If you have a problem, take up to that individual, have a quick chat, try to solve it, try to resolve it. If you can't, take it to the next level, which is your manager and the HR, and they have, all companies have a different departments and different rules, regulations, expectations, values, core values that you have to be aware of, and and just go by that and resolve the conflict. So saving face is usually when you're trying to shrug your shoulders away and saying, hey, I'm not at fault here and I don't bother. It's not that thing is not as strong as achieving the goal. It's all about achieving the goal as a team. So and that's really important. Why I'm focusing on conflict is that is the question you get asked a lot of time in your interviews, and also when you get a job, you'll find that this is a really key characteristics to have for any individual who want to succeed, who want to flourish in the in the IT industry in Australia. And let's move on to the next part. The next question topic I'm going to cover is why you must not pray and spray, dear God, bless my resume as I spray it all over Australia. If you are not too sure or confident about the job you're applying for or you're about to apply, then please, 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 please do not apply for that job. Absolutely do not apply for that job. Now, I hear you say, why? Why is that? There's no harm. Yeah, you don't get a job. Who cares? At least it's a 50-50% chances of winning. Yeah, I understand, but hear me out, because the chances are that if you will apply the job just for the sake of it, you'll be unsuccessful for the position, which is fairly obvious, and your resume will be placed in the non-successful candidates pool. So yeah, your resume will be dumped into the pool called non-successful candidates, and then it will be difficult for you to get hired by the same employer in the future. So if you apply, if there's another opportunity arises in that company and you go and apply, your resume is already been marked as non-successful, and next time when you apply for a job advertised by the same employer, your profile will be highly scrutinized, and getting past the initial resume screening round will be very, very difficult. However, there is an exception to this rule. So as they say, there's always an exception in life. The exception is recruitment or labor hire companies. So if the job is advertised by a recruitment company, then feel free to apply for the job, even if you are not an ideal candidate for that job. Now, I'm sure most people or some people will be thinking, yeah, I hear you, I understand, but isn't that the contradictory? No, it's not contradictory. Let me explain. Because whenever you apply for a job advertised by a recruitment company or a labor hire company, they create a profile for you in the system. Whenever you apply for a job, the system automatically creates a profile for you and mark your resume and profile as active, looking for work. So yeah, so just focus on this word. Your resume gets saved in the system, your profile gets automatically created by the system, and your profile is marked as active, looking for work. What this means is that even if you're not successful for the job position you applied for, you are still on their database, on their active looking for job pool. So your profile has a status in their system as active looking for work. and they may get in touch with you if they think, or if they have, or if they find a suitable job opening for you in the near future. You might see your phone ringing, hear your phone ringing and say, hey, I'm from XYZ, you applied for a role, but unfortunately you weren't successful for that role, but hey, I have good news. I have another role. Are you still looking? There you go. So that's how. So yeah, so there's two different rules. So just to reiterate, make sure if the job is advertised directly by a company or the employer, then no, a big no. If you're not confident, if you don't satisfy the criteria, if you're not confident that you'll be able to do this job, don't bother. Do not apply for that job, because you don't want your resume to be placed in the non-successful candidates pool. But having said that, if you are applying for a job which has been advertised by a recruitment company or an agency or a labor hire company, then go for it. If you're 70%, 80% confident, I would say go for it, because then the system will create a profile for you and add you as an active looking for work. Hope this makes sense to you guys. So let's move on to the next topic, which is why you should tailor your resume to suit the job requirements and the position description, especially when hiring managers have thousands of resumes to sift through. So before applying for a job, do not just have the same cover letter, or that's what most people would do, and that's I'm guilty as well. Initially, for the first 12 months and 16-18 months, I was doing the same. I had one template of cover letter and the resume. Whatever job I could find and think that it's close to, it's actually linked to, or it's actually something which I can do, and I'm pretty confident that it suits my skills, I would go and apply. Yeah, that definitely, it doesn't work all the time, so always in my experience, you should always tailor the resume and cover letter to suit the job description before clicking the apply button for a job. So before clicking the apply button for a job, what this means is, if you closely look at the job description of a job advertised, you will find that usually there is a required and desired but not essential section in the ad. So if you closely look at the job description of a random job advertised on Seek or any other website, you will see that usually there are two different sections. One, it says required, key selection criteria, required, skills required, must have, something like that. And for some skills it says desired but not essential. So keep in mind, so that's what it is. So I'm going to show you some examples here. Is if you see on the screen, I've got the screenshot of some of the job advertisements from Seek. So if you see this on the left hand side of your screen, the key selection criteria for this position are, that's what they want. And on the right hand side of the screen, some says responsibilities and duties, responsibilities and duties, qualifications and skills, benefits and culture. So yeah, that's what it is. When you look at just wanted to clarify how it looks on the website. What this means is that if someone does not match all the skills, so when I was saying that so if you look at the screenshot here, it clearly explains that if I'm applying for a job which has the key selection criteria, minimum 4 years of experience in business analyst or PMO administration, must hold a valid driver license. Now guys, how many times do you actually mention on your resume that you hold a Victorian or Australian valid full driver license? I don't. Not at all. Only people who work in a labor hire or apply for the forklift or on one of those factory jobs or picker and packer, the job, then that's relevant for the job. But for IT, it's no one ever, not many people would have noticed that. So that's why when they what this means is that if someone does not match all the skills or bullet points listed in the required section or the essential section, the key selection criteria section, they will not be shortlisted. And it is quite possible that you do have all those skills but haven't listed them in your resume, which means your resume will not come up in the search query of the employer, the search query they're going to run on this system when they're going to start the shortlisting process, and you will miss out on the potential job interview. So the best example is having a valid driver license. Most people would have the has a normally has a valid driver license. So but because 7 out of 10 people would never bother mentioning it on their resume. So if you're looking at a job, you say, yeah, I tick most of the boxes. Yeah, I have that, blah blah blah. But some of the stuff is missing from a resume. Go update, get rid of all the other stuff that you don't want, all the other stuff which is not key selection criteria for this job. You hold a valid driver license. So next time when they look up, then then they're going to do a quick search on the system, your resume should pop up, and there you go. And then they will look at your resume. And the other reason is that employers don't want to learn about your all the unwanted stuff which is directly not linked to their job post and advertisement. So if I'm the employer, if I've advertised this job position, the one on the left which says the key selection criteria for this position are, I'm only focusing on all those points. Yes, I'm also more focusing on other tech, other skills, the IT skills or the transferable skills as we call them, but keep in mind that all the other random stuff, get rid of it, just to make some room for the stuff which is in the bullet points which is in the key selection criteria, so that you match everything and most of the points when they're going to do a quick lookup. And if you apply every job with the same resume and cover letter, then your profile may end up being marked as generic application. Yeah, they would come to know that, they know that this person is applying to hundreds of jobs using the same resume, same cover letter. So it's a hit and miss kind of situation or strategy. Okay, so let's move on to the next, which is how to increase your chances of getting past the initial resume screening round and stand out from the other applicants. Okay, so the same sort of stuff. The topic before this was how to get past this initial resume screening, or not the screening, resume searching, so that if someone looks up, your resume pops up. And this is again a similar kind of thing, that once your resume is popped up, how you ensure or take the best shot at it and stand out from the other applicants, so that they select you and shortlist you for the telephonic or for the phone interview, or the next stages or the phases of the interview process. So as per my experience, there are two strategies you can employ to increase your chances of getting past the initial resume screening round and stand out from the other candidates. The first being is to tailor your resume to suit the job requirements and the position description strategy I covered in my previous point in the topic number 3, just before this topic. And the second strategy that that I can give you here is being proactive and showing the employer or a recruiter that you are confident, that you are the ideal candidate, and you are the ideal candidate for this job and would love to have the opportunity to get interviewed. And how do you do that, and why that helps? Because every employer or recruiter wants to hire a confident and self-driven employees who has a blend of right tech skills and attitude. So what I mean by that is, you were still on this section. So yeah, so why, what about, let's say, how do you stand out? So basically, we're focusing on the second strategy, being proactive and showing the employer that you are confident enough that you need this job and you are the ideal candidate for this job and would love to have the opportunity to get interviewed. So because every employer or recruiter wants to hire confident, keep in mind, and self-driven employees or an individual who has a right blend of tech skills, and attitude. So how do you do that, you ask? I'm saying, oh yeah, I understand you're saying being proactive, show the employer that you are confident. So what's the exact step? How do you do that? Okay, Well, the best strategy, according to me, is by calling the number listed on the job post, on the job advertisement, and speaking directly with the staff who is responsible for filling that role. So just pick up your phone and dial, hey, you can talk about your current job role, the job you're currently doing, and how this job is exactly what you have been looking for a while to, kickstart your career or have or for your career progression. And you can ask questions relevant to the job role and what are they looking for in a potential employee. What happened to the guy who's doing this role? Is he moving on to a new role? That kind of stuff, And so let's say I've got this job and say, hey, this looks really interesting. I really want this. Then how many times do you expect people to actually pick up the phone and ring and talk to the person responsible for filling up that vacancy, or the HR or the manager? I would say maybe 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10. To be honest, 2 out of 10 is my guess, and I'm sure I'm quite close to it, because people are not confident enough. So that's what it is. Ring, say, hey, can I talk to, hi, can I talk to, say, let's say a hypothetical name, let's make it a name, Mark. Hey, can I talk to Mark? Yeah, Mark speaking. Oh yeah, Mark. So I saw your advertisement, on Seek for the XYZ position, and I just wanted to have a quick chat, about that. I have a couple of questions that I wanted to ask before I go and apply for the job. Is it a good time to talk? Then I say, yeah, go for it. Then you start into it. Okay, yeah. So I just want to give you a quick, intro of my profile. That's who I am. That's who I work for. I've been working this role for a while. Blah blah blah. And I have a couple of questions regarding the skill you listed on this. Is that relevant? For, let's say Java, let's say, VB.NET. So are you looking for someone from VB.NET, or, who works on VB.NET, the complete framework, or just the C#, or who does coding in Visual Basic? That's kind of stuff. Anything that you can, that you're not clear of the job, and so that they note down your name, and when they see your resume. And now the next strategy is very important. After you have a chat, tell them that, great, if you're going to apply for the job, just tell them, or tell the person before you hang up the phone, say, hey, great, it was great talking to you. Look, I'm pretty confident with the job role, and thanks for answering all these questions. Thanks for your time on the phone today, and I'm going to apply for this job in the next, very soon, or next 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or later today, or maybe in the evening. Give them a window and go and try and apply for that job during that window. Why? Because once they will see your resume, they will definitely open your resume, even if they're middle of something, to open your resume and see, okay, yeah, I got this guy calling me, and okay, so yeah, so they'll have a quick look at your resume. Job done. You have already shown them that you are proactive, you are confident, and that's give you an ideal opportunity to have be stand out from all the other applicants who aren't calling them. So I hope this makes sense, and trust me, these minor things gives you a lot of confidence, and the employer a lot of confidence that the guy who's if somebody is calling them over the phone and asking all these good questions, you've already done your job. You have already you have already stand out for, you have already got yourself an extra mark, an extra point for calling. So that's what it is. So let's quickly move on to the next, which is one of my favorite topic of on this training: how to answer and tackle the you don't have a local Australian IT industry experience question. Ooh, that's dreaded question. This is one of the most tough questions to answer for anyone, especially a recent graduate or a migrant. I had found nearly impossible to answer this question effectively during my first 12 months of struggling to find an IT job in Australia. Honestly, I would say 18 months. I got my first job. I was doing a first job, and then when I was applying for other jobs, still I struggled to to answer this question confidently or with something that has a real, killer punch. That's how they say, the killer punch. So here's some of the answers which should give you some ideas on how to handle and tackle this super scary question. You don't have a local Australian IT industry experience, so I can't hire you. Boom. Okay, so get ready. You ready? There you go. That's an answer. That's so I'm going to share two answers that you can, tweak and change, according to your requirement, your job role. But if you stick to the format or just keep the structure, it's gonna work. Trust me, guys, it's gonna work. Whilst I completely respect the employer's concern about lack of local experience, I would like to draw your attention to skills and expertise that I have honed in last X years. So 5-10 years, just put your experience. Delivered an exceptional customer service to the staff. Again, very important. It doesn't matter what sort of role you go for. Exceptional customer service is always the top priority, the top skill they're looking for. Clients and all stakeholders. Achieved my KPIs and SLAs, which is key performance indicators and service level agreements in all my jobs. Never had a serious conflict with a colleague. Conflict. There you go. Always you have achieved. Yes, let me read it out first and then I'll explain. So whilst I completely respect the employer's concern about lack of local experience, I would like to draw your attention to skills and expertise that I have honed in last, let's say, 5 years. Delivered an exceptional customer service to the staff, to the clients and all stakeholders of the company. Achieved my KPIs and SLAs in all my jobs. Never had a serious conflict with a colleague of mine. These transferable skills transcend the boundaries of countries, and I'm fully aware of the steep learning curve ahead of me, and let me assure you that I'm absolutely up for it to learn and grow. So yes, what I'm saying is that I understand your concern. I would like to draw your attention that I have the skills and expertise that, that I've honed in, that I've, that I've have expertise in the last X years, the numbers you've been working. I've always delivered. And so the best part about this is that we are putting KPIs, SLAs, exceptional customer service, stakeholders, clients, never had a conflict, transferable skills, and also I'm fully aware that there's a steep learning curve ahead of me. That's not going to be easy, and I'm up for it. I'm ready to go. I'm not something that's shying away from this thought that it's going to be tough ride ahead. Absolutely gonna work. Trust me, it worked for me. It worked for a lot of other people that I've shared this with them, and it's definitely gonna work with you. So the next part. This is the next part. Now, the next part, before I go to the next part is more about, so you have two options. You can talk about the best part of being in IT is that the skill is skill in anywhere. So if you know one of the skills, or if you have a skill, if you know a skill, that skill remains the same skill. Doesn't matter wherever you go in any part of the world. For example, when you always should talk about your global IT technology, tech skills and experience, which are universally accepted. So let's say this is where we IT folks are actually lucky. Java, let's say, for example, Java is Java, SQL is SQL, ITIL is ITIL, and vendor certification, Cisco and all the other vendor certification is universally recognized, accepted. So if you have a solid IT experience overseas, there should be no reason why you should or why you would be considered less than a local. That's what you need to aim for. Put it into your answer in the next template, the one I'm gonna about to share. So the industry is full of people with qualification and experience from overseas. In fact, many roles are actually outsourced offshore. So there goes the argument that you need local experience. So this answer, this template is actually based on the fact is that what we are trying to explain is that, Java is Java, SQL is SQL, ITL is ITL. Doesn't matter if I've done my Cisco certification from India, from Pakistan, from China, from Nepal, from New Zealand, from Bangladesh, from London, from Australia, Melbourne, doesn't matter. It's the same as the units or the modules people everybody would have passed. So let's let me read it out. Indian, or you insert your country. Let's say, hey, look, Indian IT professionals are making their mark all across the world, the globe, in leading IT companies with their intelligence, reliability, dedication, and above all, the ability to adapt to new working environment. And I'm no different. Last 10 years, X years, I have worked in one of the Fortune 500 company, XYZ, in one of the largest and busiest development center based at Bangalore, India. This experience has immensely increased my confidence to excel and fuel my career growth in Australian IT industry. I'm confident that I would be one of the valuable player in your company as I was with my previous companies. Okay, and you can also include the transferable skills I mentioned in my previous example, which is my KPIs, my SLAs, my the great customer service, and also include your tech skill, and then explain, say, hey, look, if you say you're looking for a .NET developer and it's not a customer facing role, that means I'm not sitting on a reception and answering phones all day, then it makes no difference whether I'm from India, Pakistan, China, or any other country, for that matter. Why? Because, I would have the same brain. Yeah, we all different. Every individual, every programmer is different the way they think, they write code, but that's part and parcel, and it's same in anywhere in the world. So there you go, that you can, and it might give them a food for a thought, and you might get a backdoor entry to the job. Okay, so I hope next time when a recruiter or an employer tells you that, look, dude, you don't have a local experience, you know what to say. You have two options. Yeah, just go and modify, change it according to your job role, requirement, company, and maybe add some bits and pieces to it, and make sure that you learn this by heart. You know it. You can even, talk about this stuff or these two answers or one of the answers, even while sleeping. So yeah, so don't read it out. Don't just start reading it out from a paper. Yeah, you're gonna get caught. So be honest, but that's how it is. I just want to give you, and I hope that would have, give you a bit of confidence and basically some idea about what to say. That's gonna, make the door open. Okay, and this is again one of the very, very important topic that you cannot, or actually cannot afford to miss, and one of my favorite, I would say, yeah, one of my favorite topics ever. What IT skills and job titles can help you get your foot in the door? Okay, so when I say, let's face it, finding your first job in Australia is the toughest task for anyone, especially the international students or temporary residents who recently completed their IT qualifications. So yeah, so they are the people who recently completed the IT qualifications. Because you haven't done a specialization in a skill set, and usually you don't know what types of jobs to apply for. So basically you don't, because the trouble is that because you have just recently completed your qualification, your diploma, degree, or any other qualification, you are not trained, or you don't have a specialization in a skill set. You learn, you're pretty much, it's a situation where you are a jack of everything, but you're not master of anything. So what is the solution to this problem? Well, I have an out-of-the-box solution to this problem. So yeah, I came with a solution. This is kind of my experience, but yeah, but it's definitely a solution if you really want to take the plunge, as they say. So there is a job role that a recent graduate or anyone who wants to change their career or wants to kickstart their IT career in Australia can target. This job role will help you build a solid foundation and provide you exposure to local Australian IT industry experience and improve your tech skills and communication skills big time. The job title is IT Help Desk Analyst or Operator Level 1 and Level 1 Customer Support. Okay, so again, if you're someone who's struggling to find a job in IT, you have done a diploma or a degree, you have a foundation, but you don't have a specialized skill, you don't know what sort of job to apply for, whether you have done a bit of programming, you have done a bit of the hardware side, the software installation, the software testing, and a lot of bits and pieces, but you don't think you fit into one of the typical job role, let's say a programmer, a .NET developer. Even if you try to, you look up the job post on Seek, and you get scared because the stuff they ask for is basically, really something that scares you off. And so the best part of targeting the IT help desk jobs is that most of these jobs offers on-job training for the right candidate and doesn't require formal qualification. Okay, here's some of the screenshots I have taken from seek.com.au, that from the advertisements I found on seek.com.au. They'll give you some idea. So I'm going to give you a real life examples. So let me go back and just clarify that if you want to get a foot in the door, if you're still struggling to find an IT, always there is a job title that you can target: IT help desk analyst, operator, level 1, or level 1 customer support, or some job says IT support level 1, customer support technician, ISP, internet service provider, customer support operator, level 1. But keep in mind it's a level 1, and a help desk kind of role is an ideal role you can go for. And I'm going to show you why, because these jobs offers on-job training for the right candidate and doesn't require formal qualification. So usually they say if it's good to have a qualification, but if you still haven't done it, if you have the right attitude, know your skill, and have a bit of experience, that's all good. We can still look to hire you. So here's the screenshot: IT help desk operator. So that's one of the title they use for these sort of jobs. And this job that you're going to see here, this is from a Thomas Beer. So they're looking for IT help desk operators, which they are interviewing now. Go, interviewing now. Sorry. Yeah, so IT help desk operators. So why it's got, if you look closely, basic IT knowledge and a passion for computing. If you have done an IT diploma, you already have a basic IT qualification and a passion, and excellent phone manners and listening skills. Yeah, so you got to be good at phone handling and answering phone, but that's all normal. You get used to it. And then they usually provide training. So if you go through the job, must be available for shift work once trained. The ideal candidate, should have a basic IT knowledge, excellent English language skills, excellent phone manners, preferably at least 1 year previous experience in a help desk support role or IT related call center or customer focused role. Attention to detail, yeah, so that's normal. Let's quickly move on to the next. The similar job you will find on one of the Seeks or other websites is the IT support officer. The IT support officer job role is also one of those job roles that they use. So on this job post, I found TAFE qualification. It's not essential but preferable. If you have a qualification, great. Even if you don't worry. It's not an essential. It's not a key selection criteria. So that's what they have about the role. They have the skills and experience. These sort of roles you can target. And I have another example for you that is something called ISP, which is your internet service provider, like Telstra, Optus, and what else? Yeah, TPG, all the others. ISP level 1 customer support. The keyword is level 1. Always go for help desk or customer support or the IT support and look for level 1, which is the most, the basic, the startup, I would say. So you should be young and enthusiastic, have experience with the router configurations, either on your own home network or in previous workplace. How ridiculous is that? Even if you have if you know how to configure the router, if you have, broken couple of routers at your home by testing it or at your workplace, you're good to go. You will be friendly and confident and be able to communicate calmly and efficiently over the phone and clearly articulate your directions to the customer by email. So basically you can provide step-by-step instruction on the email, by email to the customer. And previous experience working in a customer support role will be taken into account, but it's not essential. How wonderful is that? Look at that. Previous experience is great, but it's not essential. So this is something, if you show the right attitude, if you have the basic knowledge, if you have the go-getter attitude and give a damn attitude, and if you are a quick learner, you can, you can learn by yourself, or you quickly learn the new concept, and you have what it takes to, do a new role, then this is something that you can always target. So these are the jobs that can help you get your foot in the door and have a local IT job experience on your resume, actual skill on your resume, or the experience, the legitimate, the legit experience on your resume. Not only this, it will pay you decent salary and improve your communication and tech skills, and also provide you the confidence and knowledge to create a launchpad for your next real IT job. So it will provide you a launchpad for your next real IT job. However, getting the help desk jobs is not as easy as it may sound to you guys, because you need to learn some new IT skills, which is quite difficult to do on your own or by just watching the training videos on YouTube. If you want to get into the help desk, yes, the most of the help desk jobs do provide on job training, but you still need to learn some new IT skills. And just if you want to learn those IT skills on your own, or just by watching the training videos on YouTube, it's not going to work. It's not going to be really helpful, to be honest. But having said that, there are some tips and strategies that you can apply to secure an IT help desk position, which is the level 1 that I cannot cover in this training session due to limited time. I'm sure you guys know. However, the good news, I have good news for you guys. The good news is that I am launching 2 new training programs very soon, which will cover the entire job hunting mastery and tech skills required to get into the IT help desk job industry in 3 months or less. Around 3 months of time, if you go through those 2 different programs, you can kickstart your career in IT help desk. I will give you a quick brief, just very quick brief intro about those 2 programs and what to expect, and that's it. I'm not going to sell anything to you. I'm just wanted to give you a quick heads up to see if you guys are interested, and if you want to learn more about it. If you want to learn more about those 2 programs, then you can always click the button. Just on this page, there should be a button called I'm interested or something like that, or learn more. Just click the button and it'll take you to the page which has all the information of the program. So introducing Smart Move IT Job Hunting Mastery and Mastermind. That's one program I'm going to launch, and the next one is called Smart Move IT Help Desk Tech Hands-on Training Mastery and Mastermind. So I'm going to have 2 different programs. One, or the training programs. One of them is called Smart Move IT Job Hunting Mastery and Mastermind. That's entirely focused on IT job hunting secrets, mastering the IT job hunting secrets. And Mastermind is a group, a support group, or a group of like-minded people. It will be a Facebook support group. And Smart Move IT Help Desk Tech Hands-on Training Mastery and Mastermind is entirely focused on giving you all the tools, the skills, the knowledge, and inside job hunting secrets required to kickstart your career in IT help desk or IT support roles, the level 1 sort of roles, which are much easier, a bit easier to get into to kickstart your career. So I'm going to quickly give you a brief description and the modules, and that's it. Smart Move IT Job Hunting Mastery and Mastermind will change and challenge and motivate you to face the realities of an ever-changing Australian IT job market, as well as equipping you with the communication and IT skills and knowledge required to find your dream IT job, thrive in your IT career, and finally plan your growth wheel. So that's what these 2 programs are going to do. So I'm going to quickly give you a brief description of Smart Move IT Job Hunting, and then I'm going to give you a brief description about IT help desk. Don't worry, I'm not going to bore you with all the information. I'm just going to give you quickly next couple of minutes, and that's pretty much it. So Smart Move Mastery and Mastermind is an intensive training program split into 3 modules. Module 1, Australian workplace culture, resume and cover letter building. It's an entirely delivered online. Module 2 is communication skills and interview preparations. It's again an online, but this module also has a 1-day offline topic It's called optional Melbourne campus learning topic. You can join the 1 day, which is 5 hours intensive learning class at one of our campuses in Melbourne, where you will learn the following 2 topics. Those 2 topics, or these 2 topics, going to be really important. So that's why we decided to have those 2 sessions running one-on-one live or in a classroom environment, not the online, because online is easier for the theory and for something that requires us to explain. But this is entirely telephone interview tips, your phone interview tips, your tricks, your skills for landing in-person interviews, how to crack the telephone interviews. And the best part is you're gonna have mock interview sessions, interview skill, including preparation, practice, feedback, so all that stuff in a classroom environment, one-on-one with the teacher, or in a group session with the mock interviews, exactly feeling the interview environment and how to go and how to answer that sort of question. It's going to be really helpful, but that's entirely optional, up to you whether you want to sign up for this module or not. So module 3 is job hunting, support and analysis. It's entirely focused on job hunting and support. It will be delivered online, but the best part is it's going to be one-on-one live. So when you go for a job, when you apply for a job, and if you don't get clear, if you have any issues, if you don't get the job, so what went wrong? Where you lacking, where you get confused, and all sort of stuff. Basically going deep dive into doing your job interview, or where you're lacking and improving and coming up with the action plan. It's one-on-one live session with one of our mentors, job hunting, support and analysis. And doesn't matter what sort of module you buy, you go for or enroll, you're still going to get access to our lifetime access, which is lifetime access to our Smart Move student support Facebook group, where you will interact, collaborate with other people, other students who are similar to you, or who actually achieved their goal and found the job. So you all be part of the same group, and you will have teachers, mentors, everyone sharing the information and answering your questions. So that's how it works. But one more thing, that none of these modules, even though the course is split into 3 different modules, but it's not that one module is linked to another module. So you can, let's say if you're having issues with curriculum, or with the resume building, you can always go for module 1 and then decide, or you can go for module 2 if you're finding hard to get through the interview or the phone interview. You can go for, just sign up for module 2, and if you want support, you can only go for module 3. But having said that, module 1, 2, 3 are pretty much real important steps. So module 1 is really important, then only you can go for module 2, should go for module 2, and module 3. And if you want to buy the whole program in one go, which is the complete package, the Smart Move IT Job Hunting Mastery and Mastermind, then we do have a special discount for that, or special pricing. Quickly, the last program, or the next program, which is entirely focused on IT help desk tech hands-on training, all the skills required to land your first IT help desk job. This course will be theory part, all the instructions, the training, technical training, a theory will be 70% online, delivered online, and 30% of the hands-on stuff will be learned taught in, or you will learn in Melbourne, one of the campuses in Melbourne. And again, the lifetime access to Smart Move student support group if you sign up for this program. Smart Move IT Help Desk Tech Training will equip you with tech skills you need to meet the eligibility for a typical level 1 IT Help Desk position, and provide you the knowledge, the experience, the tech skills and confidence to apply for level 1 jobs and kickstart your career, or do a career change, get into a level 1 jobs if you want to start into, or if you get into IT. Remember, I showed you a lot of 3 different examples of how the IT help desk level 1 position look like. So this training program is entirely focused on getting you ready for level 1 IT help desk, so that you can kickstart your career. So Smart Move IT help desk tech training program theory is, as I mentioned, delivered online, and practical concepts will be delivered in a classroom environment in our campus in Melbourne. So if you are interested to learn more about the Smart Move programs, then just click the I'm interested button on this page, and it will take you to one of the dedicated page which has all the information and the pricing. So that brings us to the end of this fascinating, wonderful training session. I hope you loved it, enjoyed it as much as I did. I had a wonderful time delivering this training to you, and I really hope that it was helpful for you. So if you have any questions or feedback, feel free to send that to my personal email address, which is on your screen, Birender, that's my first name, at mytechninja.com.au, and I try to answer each question. I'll try my best to answer each question or reply to to every single email. I usually try my best to reply to every single email I get, or send me a quick text message on my office mobile, which is on your screen again, +61 410 488 025. Good luck with your job hunting. I'll see you in the next training session. It was fascinating. It was really good delivering this training to you. And as I said, I hope you loved it, you liked it, and you got some great value out of it. And you're going to apply this, and hopefully you're going to land an IT job fairly soon, or you're going to get an IT job. And if you do, if any of the strategies or any of the stuff that I mentioned on this training, that I showed you on this training, that I shared with you on this training, helped you get a job, find a job, or help you in any manner, please do share with me. Send me an email or text message or on my website. I would love to know. I would really love to know. It'll be a really happy moment for me as well. So good luck with your job hunting. Keep rocking, and I'll see you in the next training session, guys. Bye for now.